Alright, I just figured about this, or figured out about this. It's gonna be kind of rushed. It's Huggy Wuggy, what parents need to know about, and blah blah blah, whatever. Fox News made something about Huggy Wuggy. We're gonna react to this because I know for a fact it's gonna be really stupid.
Well, we know kids these days can get caught up in social media trends, but it can be alarming for parents to hear about one for much younger kids, elementary age.
Holly is in the newsroom with a new.
Alright. Poppy Playtime. It's not for elementary school students. It's rated teen and up or whatever. Not for elementary kids. That's off to a bad start.
Game parents need to watch out for it. Holly, this is pretty unsettling.
It is unsettling, Steve and Jeanette, and it's called, innocently enough, the Huggy Wuggy game. And while it may...
The Huggy Wuggy game. Yeah, not Poppy Playtime. It's the Huggy Wuggy game. Yep, correct.
Sound innocent, like I said, it could actually be really traumatic for some children. So joining us now from parents.com, who reported on the game, is editorial director Melissa Bykowski. Good morning, Melissa. It's good to see you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
And I get articles from parents.com, and I saw...
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's very valuable resource to actually research about this game. Parents.com, because parents definitely know more about this game than actual people who played this game before and have researched it.
This article, and I couldn't believe it. I was reading it. So for people that aren't familiar with Huggy Wuggy, what is it?
Yeah, so Huggy Wuggy is a character in a horror computer game called Poppy Playtime. It's blue.
Okay, finally. Somebody got the name right.
Kind of looks like Cookie Monster, but it has really big teeth.
Yeah.
But like most things in pop culture, kids aren't necessarily watching or playing it, but they're hearing about it in other ways.
Other ways, like what? Maybe YouTube Kids, maybe brain rot channels like Linky Box and other things like that. Maybe you should be talking about that, not the actual video game itself. Just a thought.
Yeah. So
how is this becoming like such a concern? Like, how is this translating? Is it just scaring them, or are they actually taking on some of the actions of this creature?
Yeah. So apparently in the game, the character that you just saw goes around and hugs people and whispers really creepy songs into their ears.
I don't think this person played the game. They whispers creepy songs and no.
So Common Sense Media says there's no graphic violence, but obviously that can be a little scary.
Chapter 4 there's graphic violence and stuff, along with chapter 3. In fact, the whole game is pretty graphic imagery, but it's still not for kids.
On playgrounds, it seems like kids are mimicking that. They're going around and hugging each other and kind of whispering these creepy mantras at.
Okay. Kids are kids.
Each other.
So it's kind of like what we saw with Squid Game, like Squid Game to
Exactly.
the playground.
Squid Game is an adult TV show. Not a kid show. It's a TV show for adults. It seems like it's the parents' fault. Not the creators of these TV shows or video games, but it's the parents' fault for not supervising over their children.
Wuggy to the playground with kids kind of doing some inappropriate things. So I guess the next obvious question is, how are kids, especially young kids, getting exposed to this?
So part of it is from, the normal ways. Older siblings are playing it. They're hearing it from friends with older siblings, or, it's on YouTube or a social media app, and a name like Huggy Wuggy easily slips through parental controls.
Yeah, I mean, my child never watched an episode of Squid Game, but he knew all about it, right? I mean, that's just
red light, green light. They're all
probably because of brain rot channels
playing it.
Yeah. So here's the next thing. What can parents do about it?
Yeah, so obviously it's impossible to know every single thing your kid is playing and watching. But a big thing to do is just know the apps that they're using. If they're using YouTube, if they're using Facebook. And that way parents can come to their child.
I feel like parents should just know that in general, but whatever.
And they see a news segment like this and say, have you heard of this game? Have you heard of Squid Games? Have you heard of Huggy Wuggy? And then they can have open-ended questions. What are your thoughts? How are you feeling? The biggest thing is just communication, making sure that your kid knows that if they are scared or if they are concerned about
Your kids shouldn't be knowing about this stuff in general because it wasn't made for them. It's only brought to them because of brain rot channels like Linky Box and Benji X Scarlet. Those are like the channels, those types of channels are the main ones you should be focusing on, and not these games that weren't even made for them, for little kids.
anything they see, anything their friends are talking about, they can come to their parents.
I think it's important to understand what that conversation needs to look and sound like, right? So it's just not a matter of saying, do you know about this? Well, you shouldn't be doing it.
Right. So parents can, of course, express their concerns that, it's...
Yeah, they should be concerned that their kids are watching stuff that wasn't meant for their eyes. It was meant for a, a teenage audience and higher. They shouldn't be watching it at the age of 9 or 10 or even 12 or whatever.
It troubles me as a parent that you might be playing XYZ, but the bigger thing to do is to open conversation so that the kids know that if there is something that is concerning them, they can approach you without judgment, without shame, and that they can start the conversation for how they can handle it if they're concerned with their parents.
Real quickly, in like 10 seconds or less, and maybe this is the biggest question, because if we're talking about Huggy Wuggy now, there's already something else that's coming along, right? So how do parents keep up?
Facebook groups are a great way to hear about it. That's how we...
Facebook is you were so correct. Facebook is a really good place to get some good information, specifically on the Huggy Wuggy game.
Heard about Huggy Wuggy. Just listening to, other parents and what they're seeing from their kids is really smart, and having conversations with kids at the end of the day.
All right, Melissa, thank you. Really appreciate you enlightening us to this. And there's parents.com and their information.
Parents.com doesn't know what Poppy Playtime is or how to talk about it. I'd say the Poppy Playtime wiki fandom is more valuable for research than parents.com or Facebook. Even though the wiki fandom website itself can easily be edited and manipulated, I feel like it has better resources than any of these websites from millennials and Gen X's that don't understand the game or anything to do with it.
If you want to check out more about different articles that they have. Jeanette?
Some great tips, especially about opening those lines of communication. Holly, thank you for that.
Let this soft mineral melt in your...
Okay, yeah, I don't know what this is anyways. Yeah, that's it. Goodbye.